Hello. Oh, here I am. Thank you, camera. Hi. Did the sound just work on the opening? It just did something completely different than it's ever done on my computer before, which of course makes total sense because it's the exact same file I've been using for over a year and have never changed. So I don't know why I did something different here. I love technology, don't you? Anyway, happy Monday! And I'm here in my Jack and Sally finery because we're going to talk about both Halloween and Christmas in the same live stream. So, seems like a good old time to do some Nightmare Before Christmas. Styling it out today. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do because over at Shimelle.com, I have published the list of shopping things for Jewelry or Christmas. So I'm going to take you through layouts we've made with the October kit so far. I'm going to give you some options of what we're going to choose for the big photo because I have all of these big photo prints done, but I haven't chosen which one I'm going to scrapbook. I'm going to give you the choice. And then we're going to come back to that shopping list before I make the page. Okay, so that way you've got a little time to vote and think about it and all of that stuff. Okay, so spoilers coming now if you've been saving the October live streams for a rainy day because I'm going to show you what I've made so far right now. All right, so we have, also, can I see your comments? Yes, okay. So we've got this one from last Friday with this little different idea for using both sides of a pattern paper, even though I had to fake it because they were both papers with the right way up. So I had to cut it in half and actually stick them together. But, you know, options. With two 4x6 photos of the Headless Horseman at Magic Kingdom and Mickey's Not So Scary. You don't see the Headless Horseman just on any old October day at Magic Kingdom. You have to go to the Halloween party. So, yeah, that's what this is. And we're all very proud of this title. Okay, so that's last Friday's. Then we also have another kind of, we've got lots of diagonal type things happening. So this one, which both of these, you could substitute the design with just autumn things or any other theme. It doesn't have to be Halloween. There's nothing here that has to be Halloween. So just don't use pumpkins and ghosts if you're scrapping something else and you'll be all good. So I've got hearts over here and ghosts on this side and then this diagonal across there. So one 4x6 on this one. A more autumn than Halloween here with lots of ink in the background. One 4x6 again, and then this sticker composition where we went through a sticker sheet and pulled lots of elements to put all in one line. And this one, my Right Now page, which is a half and half composition, but tearing it through the middle. I have all of these notes written down. I just need to get them transferred onto here. Okay. So those are the October live streams so far. And today I have promised to scrapbook a big photo. So let me show you what I've got. And I saw in the comments somebody already said, what size are they? Oh, let me measure. Are they 9x12 or 8x12? So they are 9x12. They're from Persnickety Prints. 9x12. Okay. Now, options. This is too many for me to put in a poll, so you're going to have to leave comments in the live chat if you want to vote. So we could do the chapter title page for Mickey's Not So Scary and do the Halloween party. This is from the, that's not actually attached to the photo. That's just a bit of dust. It wasn't even proper dust. It was like a bit of cotton. I'm not sure where it came from. Anyway, right. Yeah, so this is the Halloween party, like title page, chapter divider page. This one I did in the small one, so we don't need to do that one today. We can take that one off. This one might just go on my wall. We've got Castle in the Dark. We've got Sunset Boulevard. No. Yeah. So we've got this one from Hollywood Studios. Also Hollywood Studios. I never know what to think about this one because his face is very expressive, but also we were like standing into the sun, so he closed his eyes. But I also kind of think that works. So if you don't know this, this is a scary ride. This is Tower of Terror, which is Twilight Zone themed. And his opinion was, because I told him, I said, you'll love the theming and the ride will be okay. You'll be all right. His opinion when he came out was, you're right, I loved the theming, but I'm never trusting you on a ride again. It's an elevator that goes up and down at random and faster than gravity, so you've come out of your seat. Yeah? Okay. So the fact that he's closed his eyes, I know it's from the sunshine, but actually it's still quite on theme. So that's an option. Tower of Terror one. Or we can do, I know I've done this at 4x6, but I think I'm going to have this photo in both albums. So I could do this, although it's not really the best match for the colors I've got here. So maybe it's not the best choice for today. Just a good old Epcot title page and a good old Magic Kingdom title page. Why did I do this one big? Oh, I think this one might be big as a mistake because this is a really nice shot, but it's not cropped properly here. So let's ignore that one and that one. And there we go. So I've got one is a landscape and the rest were all portrait, weren't they? Yeah. So if you've got a favorite in there that you want to see, you go ahead and shout it out. I'm going to do my speech and then we're going to talk about the Christmas shopping list and then I'm going to scrapbook that. Okay. So if you want to open the Christmas shopping list in another window or on another device, it's the first post right now at Shimelle.com. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, let's do the speech and get onto that. Hello. Hi, my name is Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime I scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. Whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, think about coming back to craft. Christmas is a great time to come back to crafting. You could do it. You could do it. What else we got? Things that you might want links to will be in the description box below. That includes the supplies I'm using this month, the supplies I'm using next month. Supplies for Christmas are over at Shimelle.com. And in the description box, you'll also find links to classes and my collection, Main Character Energy, which is my current paper collection with American Crafts. Yes. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about this supply list. So if you open the window at Shimelle.com, which I'm going to do right here. Oh, I know why it made weird noise now. Okay. It's because I had the window with the shopping list open and it has this video embedded at the top. So it's live streaming me back to myself. That's what it was. Okay. All right, so we start the shopping list with albums, and this is the album that I am using. So you will notice each section of the shopping list has more than you need. So don't just look at it and think, oh, I have to have one of everything. No, that's not how this works. Don't panic, okay? So you need one album. Now, I'm choosing this one because I always have issues with how lumpy bumpy my pages are and how many pages I put in. So a wide spine is a wonderful, wonderful thing in my world. And this is a really big one. It's the widest of any of the 6x8 albums that I have used, including the Studio Calico handbooks that I used for many, many years. Yeah, so all of the albums that I have listed here are 6x8. You can choose any other size, but I love 6x8. I've done 12x12, 6x6, 9x9, 8x8, and 6x8. 6x8 is the only, and 6x12. 6x8 is the only one I have repeated because I like it more than all the others. And I like it on a practical basis that if I want to just do one tiny little pocket for a day, I can totally do that. But if I want to go to town and make double page spread, I can do that too. Yeah, it has a lot of versatility in telling your stories day by day and topic by topic. So if you want a mix of tiny little things, just small photos that just finish a page, or plenty of room to write, 6x8 is that nice, happy medium. Now, I can't go smaller and be happy. I tried. it's too frustrating for me personally to go smaller. One, because I like to include a lot of writing. Two, because I like a big photo here and there. So you can go smaller. You can do Traveler's Notebook. You can do 6x6. You could even do the little 4x4. But what I will warn you about is if you are somebody who wants to include both a lot of photos and a lot of writing, you need more room. You just need more page real estate. So that's why I love 6x8. If you are thinking, I'm going to go 12x12, I'm just going to warn you that you need a lot of time. 12x12 is a longer process per page. And if you really start out the month going, I'm going to do a 12x12 page for every topic or every day of my December or whatever it is that you want to use as your storytelling phase, it's just going to be a lot. Now, you might have lots of time this December, and your schedule may actually be, I want to do more. I want to spend more time crafting because maybe there are things that you're not going to be doing this year, and that's going to make you a little sad. It would make me sad. I totally understand and recommend in that case that you go for the more labor-intensive 12x12 option. If you're having a year where you're like, actually, my crafting is going to be my therapy, and I'm not all that busy, go 12x12. You have all my blessing and encouragement. If you look at your December schedule right now and you go, how am I going to make an album? Do not go 12x12 because you will fail before you start. Cool? Okay, so all the recommendations are 6x8 because I feel like it's this nice happy medium and it gives you a lot of flexibility from being able to do just one tiny pocket or a whole bunch of pages no matter what. Okay, cool. So I'm using this one. And it does not come with papers, but it does come with page protectors, but they are not compatible with Simple Stories and Scrapbook.com page protectors if you already have those. But they are compatible with the Vicky Boutin page protectors that are also 6x8, also by American Crafts. So if you look at the shopping list, the first 3 items are all compatible. So there's the page album. There's Vicky's album, which I believe is a slightly smaller spine and has paper as well inside, as well as the page protectors. And then the third item is just a page protector pack. So those 3 things, whichever of those 2 albums, if you want one of those 2 albums, you need the page protectors to add it up because this is not enough for an album. Yeah, you need more. I don't know why they do it that way. They just do. Or if you have other 6x8 page protectors, you can use them, but you're going to need to punch your own holes. It's just that the binder rings are in a different spot. Okay? Right. Then after we get past those first 3 items, the next set of albums are all compatible with the page protectors that are listed at the end. So there's Scrapbook.com and Simple Stories albums here that I have used in my actual hands. I've done the Simple Stories 6x8 albums, and I've used the Scrapbook.com. I used the Pink Velvet 6x8 album last year. The Scrapbook.com binders are a little smaller, but they are roomy enough. As long as you're not going to do like multiple layers of pop dots every single day, you'll be fine. If that's your style, then you need this one. Definitely. Okay. And so all of those can use the page protectors that I've then linked at the end, either the Simple Story Snap or the Scrapbook.com. However, there's one thing I need you to be careful about if you're searching elsewhere and not using the list. Simple Stories actually have 2 different kinds of 6x8 format. One is the Snap, which has, they're both under Snap. One is the ring binder. It's a different ring binder, but it's like this, yeah, rings. The other one, it's more like a composition book and it's made to be flat. It's called a flip book. So though the flip book page protectors are not compatible with the ring binder. Amazon won't tell you that. So just be aware. Flip book is no if you're using the binder. If you are using the flip book, then you got to go all in flip book because it's a different album binding scenario. It's a flatter album. I would only recommend Flipbook if you're just wanting to glue in photos and write and not do layering or 3D dimensional stuff, no puffy stickers, nothing. Because Flipbook is meant to be flatter. Okay, so I haven't used any Flipbook supplies here. The only ones on this list that I've never seen in real life are the Echo Park and Cartabella. That's the same company, it's 2 branches of the same company. I haven't held those in my hand. I have it on good authority that they are compatible. If I find out differently, I will come back and edit that list. But that's my understanding. Okay, right. Then the last option on the album section, there's a kit that scrapbook.com does that comes with the album, the page protectors, and a pack of 3x4 and 4x6 cards ready to go in those pockets. If you have done a Christmas journal in the years prior and you wanted it to be super fancy and you bought all the supplies and you gave up by day 4, buy the kit. Buy the really easy version and get an album all the way done to the end. It's super easy. It's super fast. It still counts. Do not tell yourself off. Look at me wagging my finger. Don't tell yourself off and be like, oh, but it's not real scrapbooking. That's a lie, and I won't have any of it. It's totally real scrapbooking. You are documenting what happened in your story. Okay? And if you get to the end and you're like, oh, I'm bored and I have more embellishment in my stash, you could go back and add it to those cards, but you don't have to. And if you have tried to do this project and given up in fits of like, I can't cope, this is your answer, so please take it. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to check the live chat for comments and questions now and then go on. Where are we? No. Which button has the comments? There it is. There it is. Okay. Sophia's going to say, if you use multiple layers of pop dots every day, you might just need more than one album. I've done that too. It's fine. It's allowed. Okay. Right. Anything? Oh, Georgia says the struggle is real because she can't decide. Oh, sorry, microphone. She can't decide what format to go for. Just pick one and go for it. Kay says, I love the size of Paige's album, but oh, it doesn't read Christmas to you. Okay, well, we're going to talk about color in the next section. So let me put this up here. So this is Paige's, it's poinsettias and holly leaves, but it does add the pink and the aqua into the red and green. There's pine cones in there too. The inside is pink and red dot, but you could easily add Christmas, like you could add a Christmas layer here over the top if you wanted it to feel more Christmassy. Keep in mind that as soon as you open that as well, it's going to feel more Christmassy when your Christmas page is there. You could add Christmas charms down the side if you want, you could add little dangly beads with Christmas trees and stuff if that's going to help your vibe. Oh, Kay says it looks tropical. It really doesn't feel tropical to me at all, but that's okay. I get it. We all read patterns in different ways. Yeah. Vicky's might be a better option for you then, or any of the others. Okay. Let's talk about paper because we're going to then go into this discussion of tropical things. Okay, so from my list of paper, again, remember, you're not buying all of this. Not even I am buying all of this, okay? Two things you need to decide. Number one, do you want snow in your album? It makes sense for some people. It does not make sense for others. Make a decision right now. I want snow in my album or I do not want snow in my album. If it is tropical where you live and you have cactus and palm trees and have never seen snow and you don't want like North Pole type snow references, then just decide that right now and don't go for any supplies that include snow. Just do it. There are plenty out there that don't. So you don't need to feel like you have to do it. You don't. You can make a whole Christmas album without a single snowflake and it's absolutely fine. So just make that decision from the beginning. I want snow or I don't want snow. Okay? It's cool. I do use snow in mine because December's cold here. It might not snow, it might. But snow motifs at Christmas are sensible for my climate and my storytelling. So you'll see me use snowflakes, but that is in no way a message of you must use snowflakes. That's not how I work, and you know that. Cool? So use snow or no snow as you see fit. The second thing you should decide before you even start looking at the papers, I think, is what kind of Christmas colors do you like? So I love a Christmas rainbow, so I start with the paper collections here that include more than just red and green. I like the pink, I like the aqua, I like even a bit of purple. I like that color scheme, and it is key to keeping me joyful at my crafting desk in the dark of winter. Okay? So I love twinkle lights in December because otherwise I never see any light. I love bright colors on my desk. So I am drawn to the collections that use that wider color scheme. So when you look at the shopping list, I've started with the ones I'm going to use. So Vicky's uses that, Paige's uses that. There's a Doodlebug and a Pink Fresh collection that both have more colors. The Pink Fresh I'll actually talk about in just a second. So I've included those. I've also included here Simple Stories Winter Wonderland. No, it's not Winter Wonderland. It's just Winter Wonder. It's actually not in the store yet, so it's still coming soon. And Simple Stories, I don't know what you were doing with me this year. Okay, so they have 2 vintage Christmas collections this year. It's not my thing. If vintage Christmas is your thing, go check it out. But there's a lot of vintage Simple Stories Christmas, and that's not my jam. Then there's Boho Christmas, which I like, but I need it to go with other stuff. It's too neutral for me. I need the rest of the box of crayons. So I wanted to really love Boho Christmas, but I think I'm going to love it with other stuff. So that's what I've got here. And Vicky's has the other stuff. Paige has the other stuff. Doodlebug has the other stuff. Worth knowing. Doodlebug doesn't do a 6x8. They do a 6x6 or 12x12. So I've ordered the patterns in the 6x6 because that's plenty. I have 3x4 pockets. I have 4x6 pockets. It's fine. But I did order petite prints in 12x12 because we know I will use them year round. It's not like a Christmas purchase to me. The petite prints are not themed. They're the things like polka dots and stripes and plaids. Cool. Right. Now, then the shopping list goes from those full box of crayons, Christmas rainbow type stuff, toward the red and green. And the Pink Fresh design collection falls right in the middle because it uses the reds and the greens, but it also throws in a ballet pink and a baby blue. So it's like a nice happy meeting spot. So if you like red and green, but you just want a little bit of extra color so that you're not completely stuck in this like 2-tone scenario of, well, 3 tones of red, green, put red and green together, you get brown. So yeah, if you want a little bit something crisp and fresh outside of that, then the Pink Fresh collection is speaking to you. And then the list goes into more traditional, just red and green and brown. Cool. There's a couple individual papers that I put in from this collection from Carta Bella called Christmas Flora because they're Christmas florals and they're really pretty. They do bring in pink. But I didn't want a whole kit of them, so I just put my favorites down. Also, keep in mind that Carta Bella paper is not smooth paper. It's printed on that textured kind of watercolor type cardstock. As much as I love their design, sometimes I don't love that type of paper. It's just not my favorite sensory experience. So I just put a little bit on there. But if those florals are calling your name, then go over and look at the rest of that collection because it is really, really, really pretty. Okay. So yeah, decide what colors you like. If you want to stay with red and green, go to that part of the list that has just the red and green collections. And if you want to stay with the whole box of all the colors in a rainbow, start at the beginning. Okay. Now, the very end of the paper list, you'll be like, Shimelle, this is not Christmas. No, it's a bunch of papers from Main Character Energy. But it's the papers that I'm choosing there because they have really versatile workhorse designs that will work well in a Christmas album. But they aren't Christmas themed in any way. So if you have them left over at the end of December, you can just put them into your normal scrapping and you'll be all good to go. But I need things like grids and ledgers and wood grains for my Christmas album. Cool. All right, I'm going to check again for any questions. Keep in mind, you do not need to buy all of it, just what you're going to use. Yeah, Simple Stories normally has an option that's a bit more colorful. And I've used a lot of Simple Stories collections in my Christmas journals over the years. I'm going to order that Winter Wonder 6x8 because it's the more colorful option. But it's more a winter collection than a dedicated Christmas collection, but I think it straddles the divide really well. But I want some of Boho Christmas, but I'm going to mix it with other stuff. Corinne's like, I want to know exactly what you're using. I'm using the things at the beginning of each list. Okay? And then as you get further into the list, then I'm giving you recommendations that are things that I think are really good, but might not be where I'm going. So I'm telling you, I'm not using the collections that are just red and green because I want color. Okay? How many 6x8 paper pads do I recommend? 2 or 3? Will I buy 5? Probably. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Moving on. Embellishments come up next. So once you've chosen your papers, then choose from your embellishments something that's going to match. So the list starts with some die cuts. Go for a pack of die cuts that's going to work well. Then something stickery like a sticker book or a couple sticker sheets in terms of motifs, motif type stickers. There's this little section in the middle where there's a mixer because it's the most adorable single dimensional sticker ever if you like baking, but it won't be for everybody. There's these paper clips that Paige has done. They're like paper clips with charms on them. Again, super cute, very different, but not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And Pink Fresh did wooden printed stickers. My brain is like, that's so many things put together. But I think they're going to be cool, but again, different. So there's that little section in the middle that's just kind of like, are any of these things your cup of tea? Because I like them, but they're all a little different. Then confetti elements like tiny puffy stickers or enamel dots. There's a bunch of different enamel dots and gems listed there because you're going to need a couple if you're anything like me. So I've just given you a bunch of different options there. And then we get to letter stickers, and you need some different colors of letter stickers to match the colors you've chosen for your paper. So if you go right to the end of that list, there's the Simple Stories Color Vibe letter sticker books in 3 different colors. I've listed them. You don't need all 3. Choose the one that will match the papers that you've picked. So there's one that's like primary colors, like a rainbow, primary rainbow. There's one that's pastels, that's their spring collection. But if you had chosen the collections like Paige's that have lots of pink and aqua and baby blue and things like that, then that one would work. And then there's what they call winter, which is more what we used to call the old preppy paper collection, which has like a brick red and a hunter green and navy blue. So those would be more useful if you're going for green and red and the darker color tones. Yeah? And the 2 things I want to say about the Simple Stories Color Vibe letter stickers. One, they are a stash building item and you will just keep using them for ages because you get, I believe, 4 alphas in every color, 4 different sizes, and some are tiles, some are outlines. But they are thin stickers because the Simple Stories sticker books are not cardstock stickers, they're thin stickers. So just keep that in mind. If you are not a fan of paperweight stickers, then don't use those. I meant to put the Doodlebug puffy alphas like what we had in this month's kit in orange. Do I have them here? These. I haven't put them on the list and I meant to, so I should go add them. But they have red and green. Well, it's like a lime green, but the red is a true red versions of those. And you get a lot of letters and they're a great size for pockets because they're not huge. So those are called alphabet soup. Okay, any questions about stickers? So you need a bit of confetti, you need some letters, you need some stickers, you need some die cuts. Yeah, that's my embellishment section. Sorry, I should have said embellishments, not stickers. Kelly is drawing our attention to 49 and Market Christmas Spectacular has a pack of film strips, and they're really nice, red, green, and black, and the green matches really well. Cool. I have a bunch of the film strips left from last Christmas still in my kit because I got a pack in there, a bunch. So yeah, those may appear back in my album again this year because I do believe in using what you buy, even if you bought it last Christmas or 10 Christmases ago. It's all good. I still have Love Elsie Christmas, and I still like it. Every once in a while, I'm like, maybe I should just throw it in here. So maybe this year's the year. I think it might mix really well with the Doodlebug, actually. So yeah, it might actually go really well with Vicky's too. Okay, now I feel like I'm going to have to do a video just about that. Love Elsie Christmas from like, is that like 12 years ago? Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay, sorry. Just a little dizzy. I'm all good. Okay, next thing on the list. Oh, then we're just up to mixed media, which is easy. Okay, so the mixed media, I've put a set of scrapbook.com letter stamps and number stamps. The numbers are big, the letters are smaller. Also, I've linked here like the full bundle sets, but they sell all of those elements individually. So if you want the solid but not the outline or vice versa, you can go into the store and find it. And in fact, if you just click on the one that's there, it should come up in related products at the bottom of the page. But they do all of those. You can have just the uppercase, just the lowercase, just the outline numbers, just the solid numbers. You don't have to buy it in a bundle. Yeah. But I also was conscious of how many boxes I put on the website. Okay, then my favorite oxide colors for Christmas, starting with the reds and greens. If you have lumberjack plaid or festive berries, you don't need both. You can do one or the other. But lumberjack plaid is slightly warmer, festive berries is slightly cooler. So if you want to evaluate where you are there with what papers you've chosen, do you want to go toward warm red, then go lumberjack. If you want to go toward like a teensy bit of blue in the red, then you go festive berries. But there's not so much in it that you're going to be like, well, that's not a red. It's totally a red. They're both red. And then you've got two shades of green that I like really well together, Mowed Lawn and Rustic Wilderness. I like those two together all times of year. So I never think that's a bad purchase, that combination of those two greens. Two pinks as well, Spun Sugar and Kitsch Flamingo. So if you're adding one of the collections that has shades of pink, those two blend really well so that you have one that's quite pale and one that's just a little bit more saturated, but you don't have the one that's like in your face that's picked raspberry. So I've left that off, but if you wanted to go hot pink, you could add that in. Salvage Patina if you want the color that's going to match the aqua in this. And Scattered Straw because I always find I need a yellow in Christmas collections and I don't tend to think about it when I'm pulling the stuff out, but sometimes it's really, really useful. And it goes really well if you're using gold accents. Cool. Then some stencils, some boopers and booper handles and booper heads, foam strips and foam squares, and then pops of color, which is the little glitter glue things if you want to add sparkle. Pretty easy peasy stuff there. Keep in mind that the mixed media section is if you want to get inky with it. If you don't, you ignore that section entirely and you are all good. There's no requirement to do that. Likewise, you might hate spending money on letter stickers and rather have one set of stamps and use them forever. Do that. And the big last thing that I need to say about all the Christmas shopping in terms of scrapbooking. If you have lots of old Christmas stash that you have collected over the years and buying more stuff without using what you already had is going to make you feel guilty, icky, like you should have been doing something else, any of these emotions, then go get all the supplies that you had before and get them out and make yourself a happy little basket filled with all of it and embrace what you've already bought. There is absolutely no reason why not to. If you want to spend money on new stuff and it's not going to make you feel bad, then go for it. But if you've got lots of stash and you want to use it this year, I will 100% cheer for you to do that. You will see me use little bits of previous year's kits in with this, and I then take all of my previous year's stuff and put them into a basket that WB can use for his Christmas scrapping. So I will also say, if you do have a kid who wants to join in, it's often more difficult for them to do an entry every single day. He has one album that he just adds a few pages to every year. This will be his third year of adding to it, and he's absolutely still loving that process, and I love what he's making. It shows like year on, it shows him growing up in his own album. So if you want to take that idea and run with it in your own family, please do. And the last thing about Journal Your Christmas, which you can sign up for on my site, there's the journaling one, or there's Share Your Christmas is about photography, which is having a total revamp this year, which I'm very excited about. Anyway, both of those classes you can sign up for anytime, and they start on the 1st of December. But both of them include lifetime membership because I set up this class to never feel like you had to do an entry every day. That's become an expectation, but it is not from me that expectation has come, okay? I want you to always be able to come back to the topics and add the ones you want to every year. I believe there is no stress in scrapbooking, and I don't want to make you stressed out in your hobby. That's not what I'm here to do. So I set it up from the beginning a gazillion years ago to say, in fact, we're on an anniversary year. Hey. I set it up that way so that you could do the topics that spoke to you one December and then forget about it during the year and come back and add a few more. And that was the whole idea, that you'd have a few pages every year and eventually the album would get full. Please don't lose sight of that. Don't feel like you have to create something every single day or you're a failure, because that is not it. Don't make that up in your mind. It's not a thing. Okay? All right. That is enough of me talking. Oh my goodness, let's scrapbook. Okay. What do we got? Comment-wise? Anything. I'm the only person who addresses the emotional side of the hobby. Oh, bless your heart. Well, I think just because I'm there too. I have totally looked at my bank balance and gone, should I buy supplies or should I not? You know what? It happens to me too. Uh-oh, what's happened here? Hold on. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was an easy fix. I only have 2 cameras. Yes, I have camera 1 and camera 2. And somehow I managed on the mixer to press a button for camera 3. I don't have a camera 3, so it went black. I'm really sorry. Okay. Right. Oh, Allison has learned a lot from Share Your Christmas and looking forward to learning more. Yay! Well, I figure because I've updated my phone, I can add a bunch of stuff there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm designing the setting out the information. Take the word develop and design both out of there. My brain was not thinking. So I'm putting all of the information in so that you'll be able to pick and choose from whether you have a phone that's like a year or 2 old and has all the extra bits and bells and whistles and lets you do, 0.5 lens telephoto and all of that. Or if you want to stick with the content that comes from a basic old phone. Yeah. So you'll be able to see everything and pick the stuff that that works just for you. Yeah. And what device you've got. Yeah. And also there's DSLR stuff in there too, if I want to shoot with your big camera, because I love my big camera. Yeah. Okay. It's okay to have all new collections. All right. Now, did we get some votes? I'm just scrolling back to see what preference we had. Landscape, Tower of Terror, the 3 of us together, family, Tower of Terror. Okay, let's do Tower of Terror then. Boop, 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 boop. Oh no, Allison, I don't mean for you to have to buy a new phone. And if people are going to go buy new phones, I really need to up my affiliate linking game, yes? Because, I spent way more on my phone than I do on pattern paper. But if we add it up, I'm sure I've spent more on pattern paper. Oh, I get so much content thrown at me now from algorithms. It's like, how to earn 6 figures by next month as an affiliate marketer. And it's always this stuff that's like just gaming the system, and it's nothing about actually promoting products that you use. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, so you're telling me I could make way more money if I had no principles, really, like what I use now. I mean, maybe not no principles, but I recommend stuff to you that I really love using, but it's all like, tiny price points compared to the stuff that all of that content recommends to do. Also, I get lots of stuff because the algorithm can tell that I teach online classes, probably because I say at the beginning of every episode that I teach online classes. So I get lots of adverts for how to teach online classes. And it'll say things like, you just need to launch one class that costs $800. Who's taken an $800 online class that does not get you like at least part of a degree? $800? Well, yes, I can do that maths too, but I don't know where those people are coming from. Sign up for my classes that are much, 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 much cheaper. We're talking 2 decimal points. Oh, it's so funny. 2 decimal points, 2 places. Sorry. Anyway, the whole thing just makes me laugh so much. Yep. Right. Let's find a background for this. Let's put the clock on so I know I'm not late. Hey, I talked a lot, but I've still got time. We're good. We're good. So we can go orange. Boop, boop, boop. I could teach the online teachers. Well, the problem is that I'm so like, the big bit of advice I would give to people is to go into a system that is easier to upgrade over time. Because those of you who've been around a while will know, but those of you who have found me in the last couple of years might not know that I've been doing this for like a lifetime. So I started teaching online 20 years ago. That's mad, right? That was like teaching online was just really not a thing then. What about that one? I think I like that better. Okay. So I upgraded my system at one point because we actually started with a Yahoo service at one point. And then I went to this standalone website that puts everything into like a forum base. But message boards and forums have kind of had their day on the internet. They're not as popular as they were. And there's now not an easy way for me to just be like, okay, so we need to upgrade to what's new here. The way to do that is to start from scratch. And just build a whole new thing. I talked to a bunch of developers at one point. I got quotes from everybody. One, it was really interesting to see the difference in the quotes. And just like when you ask for quotes for like work on your house, people will price up if they don't think it's a job they'll enjoy. So some people wanted literally 6 figures. I'm like, nope. We are not in the same ballpark here. Some people had far more reasonable versions, ideas, prices, but just wait, are these not going to be the right colors? Maybe, actually, I like this orange here. Anyway, so that would be my advice for anybody who starts out now, is to go into the system if you're looking at something that you're buying into or you're paying a developer for. Say, what is the upgrade potential going to be here? What am I talking when the world doesn't look like, websites don't look like this anymore? Because that is the one thing that if you come to my website now, people will be like, this looks really old-fashioned. Yes. It does, but I want you to be able to keep everything you've ever bought. And I can see, don't worry, I don't like go stalking for what people are doing, but I can just see it as numbers rather than individuals, that people are still accessing stuff that they bought years ago. And so I don't want to take that away. That's not where I'm at. So there we go. So yeah. I'm sure all of that content where people are selling classes on online classes. You gotta love somebody who can be like, you know what? I'm gonna use an online class to teach you about online classes. Things like that crack me up. But yeah, just they would all look at my website and be like, that is an old lady's website. Might as well be on GeoCities. Let's not forget, I started my business on LiveJournal. Who remembers LiveJournal? My first classes, I was still a LiveJournal blogger. And that's where People found me. And I was a really fancy live journal blogger because I had photos in my posts. Not everybody did. You had to like have hosting for your photos because you couldn't host the photos on LiveJournal. So yeah. Anyway, there we go. Do I have a BB-8 handbag? Yes, I have. And I have this bag in 2 droids. I have it in R2-D2, which I had first, and I love it so much. And then this is last October, my mom sent me vouchers for my birthday, and I bought the BB-8 version with my birthday money. Yay. Oh, Sophia. I can see Sophia in the live journal community. She was into Tolkien fanfic community and back in the mist of time. Yes, that's an accurate description of the live journal era. The mist of time. Right. What else can we layer over to the side? So do I even need a sketch for this? Basically, the sketch is that your photo holds most of the space on the whole page. And then you end up with a gap down the side that you fill with stuff. Yeah, so you can put it all the way over to the edge, but I like leaving a little border. And then you have, so this is the photo, really big. And then you have lots of layers over to the side. And then your title can run in the open space here, or in this case, I'm going to put it right here. And there's not a lot of journaling here because it's a chapter divider, which is something I talk about in my album class cover to cover. If if you may or may not have taken that class. So it means that in a big themed album like this, I put in little dividers that are kind of like, they're basically like title pages to give you a marker of the day and help tell the story, which to me means it's like a new chapter. So I call them chapter dividers. Yeah. So this will be the chapter divider for that day, because when I do this with a Disney trip each day, possibly like the day that we go to the Halloween party, we'll have 2 chapters because the party will get its own thing. Yeah. Yeah. Corey says, how many bags do you take when you pack for Disney? Your costuming must fill lots of suitcases. So I usually take a bag per day, almost. There'll usually be a bag that I'm going to take a couple days. So I have the bag that goes with these ears. The bag's downstairs. So this is my Halloween print bag. So that was like my default during that trip. But then if my outfit was not Halloween themed, or it was Halloween themed but with Star Wars, then I would have a different bag. So I think I carried the Halloween one like 3 times, and then I had different bags for all the other days. But the way I do it is so the bags don't take up a lot of extra room because I use the bags as the packing cubes. So I put that day's outfit in the bag when I put it in the suitcase. Should that be some sort of, they always tell you use travel tips as your affiliate marketing base. Is this how I can follow all that content? I tell you that I pack in my handbags and then I put all the handbags in a suitcase. Travel hack. You heard it here. Oh, too funny, too funny. Right. Auntie Caffeine says she thinks this would look cool with a huge title that started beneath the leaves of the palm tree and then went all the way down here. And that's not a bad idea for diminishing the random strangers in the background here. Especially this one who appears to be crying. I'm sorry, child. I hope your day got better. Yeah. Could also run the title here. This, by the way, is a PhotoPass photographer. I find it very interesting that they did the jaunty angle. They didn't do the same shot straight up and down. They did do a straight up and down shot, but it wasn't like an energetic one. So I'm not quite sure why we got the jaunty angle, but fair enough. Debbie says she got her master's in 2002 and took all her courses online. It was definitely the beginning of days of online learning, and her degree is in educational technology focused on online delivery. So Debbie understands why my website looks old, but I don't really want to change it. Okay. Maybe bring in this red, I think. I know I'm using all these journaling pieces when I just said there's not going to be a lot of journaling here. Nice one, Shimelle. And Caffeine says she doesn't think she's ever cried at Disneyland in her life, and she went every year as a kid. Melissa says the colors on her PhotoPass pics are always terrible. If you like the shots but not the color on your PhotoPass pictures, save them and run them through Lightroom. Just you can make yourself a preset and then apply it to all of them. Or if they're each one is differently miscolored, then you can do them individually. Unfortunately, it takes longer, but it'll give you the finish that you want. Yeah. I still haven't cut into this one, so I should cut into this one. What do we got? Well, this isn't cozy. And it's not sitting and staying a while. So as much as I want to use this, I'm having trouble here. Palm trees and oak leaves don't really go together. What about this one though? Could this work? Oh, Sophia was talking, I remember these days. Sophia was talking with her daughter the other week about how she started online in 97 or 98 with a Mac, and not all websites were coded the same way, and Apple couldn't read all the code. So you literally could not access chunks of the early internet. Yeah. My university department in my undergrad was all Mac based. And sometimes it didn't actually hurt my work because most of the stuff you were turning in, it was still the days of type it out on a word processor, print it out, and hand in the printout. Yeah. I had one teacher in my last year who accepted each week's work as an email. And I was sending an email because then you didn't have to stay and write in exam conditions. You were allowed to go home and do it at your own time, and then just send it in the middle of the night. And I didn't know until the end of the term that I was the only person doing that, and everybody else was just staying behind and writing their answers at the end of the lecture. Well, I was going back, it was a winter term class. I was going back to my room and sitting there with blankets and hot chocolate rather than sitting in the cold exam hall. But I didn't know that I was the only one taking that option. Anyway. But everything else was print it out and turn it in. But the thing that did get weird was that I had this job as a professor's assistant, and part of the job was to book travel for one of the school teams. I'm going to use so many together, and it's going to make some of you cry. It's okay. It's not in your album. If you don't want to lose this many journaling cards all in one go by covering up lots of pieces, I respect your choice, but I'm going to do it. Okay, that's it. Let's move on. So I'd have to book travel, and the department ran on Macs, and some of the travel websites you couldn't access with a Mac. So then I would have to call the office at the website. So to give you an idea, have I told this story about how I was in a Priceline advert? when Priceline was brand new. They'd been around for like, I think it was their first year anniversary, and they sent out this email that said like, if you took a Priceline trip and you saved money, write to us with where you went, how much you saved, and attach a photo of yourself. And I did that. And then my photo was in this advert that was just like a grid of people's pictures and underneath where they went and how much they saved. Yeah, so that was one of the websites where it didn't work on a Mac at first, and I ended up having to call them to say, I'm trying to book something, but a Mac won't read your website. And I ended up having to do all these extra questions for them because they wanted you to be able to access it from a Mac. But I was the first person to call them apparently and say, like, it won't work. So, yeah, unrelated to being in the advert, but it was really funny. Also, the advert will always be funny to me because it didn't say anything about what kind of photo to send in. I was the only person in the ad that had a full head and shoulders, like whole body shot, and everybody else was a headshot. And I was sitting down on the floor. And it was a picture of all of me sitting down on the floor. I'm like, why did they not zoom in? It was so weird. Yeah. All right, how are we doing here for how big this is? We're looking at it like that. Okay. I want this one to go over the top of that. So yeah, websites did not always work on both Macs and PCs. True story. We have a whole Mac house here, so we're all good. It all works now. Sometimes it works so well that it freaks me out. I forgot now that if you're working on both your laptop and your phone at the same time, so like I was working on the blog post with all the shopping list. And obviously that involves copying and pasting the code from the list of supplies into that. And then somebody had asked me on my phone in a message, could you do you have these dates to hand? And so I had answered that question 5 minutes before. So I thought when I hit paste on my phone, it would still be what I had copied and pasted 5 minutes before, but I copied and pasted what I had just done on my laptop. And I was like, what? No, what? Let me copy and paste on this device and that be separate from this device. But no, they're thinking that would be more convenient for you to move what you pasted or what you copied on one to paste it on the other. And I was just so confused. All right, where is this one going to go? Yeah, up here. Okay, so we're going to just keep moving up. Nope. That way. Okay. All right, and then this over here. Because I have a grid background, it's nice and easy for me to see what will be nice and straight up and down. And then I don't really want to do this. I don't want part of it to show, so I'm going to bring that over to where the file tab starts and then use the grid to straighten it all up from there. Okay, let's have a look at then different pieces we could put in here. Bring this little label over the top. That went a bit skewy. That's better. Now keep in mind that you can then overlap on top of the photo as well. So I don't want to lose that floral. I don't really want to lose. Does it go there? Does it go over here? It goes over here. Okay, cool. All right, and we can put this always cracks me up. DHS for Disney's Hollywood Studios. But those of you who are here in the UK know that we have a sofa brand called DFS. And so every time I see DHS, it kind of does a little, I have to do a little double take. And then I'm going to write the date on there. Jenny says, it's good to remember how new the internet really is. My senior year in college, a professor assigned me an honors project to find websites that would be useful for teaching elementary students. Yeah, it is. And it does make me laugh that children today are like, what do you mean you're older than the internet? I mean, I'm older than the internet. I'm teaching elementary school students about animal behavior. When I turned in a 36-page annotated list, my professor wanted to know if I included every source on the internet. Oh, bless. Yeah, no, there's way more. Definitely way more. All right, could I bring that green back in if I got that somewhere else? Got the peachy one here. I'm not going to use this jar, I don't think, so let's have that. Yes, I loved Oregon Trail, and I made WB play it in the green and everything. There's like a modern version of it, but nope, not having that. I love Oregon Trail, and because there are certain things where I'm like, I want him to have a reference point as somebody who's the child of an American, even though he's not growing up over there. So I was like, well, you just need to understand that this is an important part of our culture, especially if you came from the Midwest and you had all these little road markers that told you this is where the Oregon Trail came through. So yeah, I made him play it and put all that together of what the Oregon Trail actually was and what's the deal with the stagecoach and stuff. Because I mean, stagecoaches are not part of British history. You're never going to get that here. If you do GCC with some of the exam boards, there's a unit on the American West, and you'd get it there. But otherwise, nope. So yeah, I wanted to make sure you knew what a stagecoach was. You know, also that's important musical theater knowledge. What's a stagecoach? Oh, the sad sounds in video games when you died. Also, one that cracks me up, which was games console, not a computer, not a PC kind of thing. But if you had the old Atari, I had the E.T. game that absolutely bombed, and there's apparently like an entire landfill filled with nothing but that game because it was so bad. But I was a child and we didn't have the internet to compare notes, so I didn't know it was bad, and I just kept playing it for like 3 years trying to get any further in the game. I never did because it was not a good game. It was only when I was an adult and heard people talking about it was the only time I'd actually been like, wait, this is a cultural point here and that we all did this? I didn't know. So there we go. Gory says, why does it not surprise me that the little Brits learn about American history is all about the Old West? That explains so much. Yeah, they learn the gold rush. They learn about, what else is there? I think they learn a little bit about Louisiana Purchase. They learn about Mormons going to Utah. That was in the curriculum. They learn about, I think they learn about the immigration from Asia to the Pacific Northwest, I believe. I did a couple, like, go in and do Q&A sessions when they would get to that section. And mostly the kids' questions were about cowboys. Oh, they learned about Pony Express, which started in St. Joseph, Missouri, so that's not far from where I grew up. So I answered questions about cowboys, the Pony Express, and stagecoaches. Yeah. I was surprised at how few of the questions were about Native American culture. But I don't know how much of that was from what's in the curriculum and what they just were like, I don't have any questions on that because I understand it. Because I didn't actually teach it. That wasn't my subject. But I used to go in and answer Q&A for at the end of the unit. Yeah. All the things that help with watching Western movies. There you go. Yeah. Okay. What do we got in time? Yeah, we're good. Now, title. So we're going to have that. We're going to have something here. I mean, the number of times I could use this title. I mean, I've even got the Adhesive Avenger making silly faces here. So it is an option. How big is it going to be? Anti-Caffeine wanted a big title. So here we go. I wonder how many sets of these stickers I have. I think 3. So I can do 3 different ways of pointing out that the members of my family are a little bit dramatic. I need to save one to put with some stage door photos. And then when I'm finally allowed to talk about that, we'll do that page together. Leslie studied over here and did the gold rush when she was a student. She lives in the States now, but she's British. Secret info. I don't think it's secret info. Dun, 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 dun. Corey says she's had people all over Europe ask her about cowboys and where her hat and boots are. That's funny. People do find it funny that I grew up in, like, you know, a farming community, agricultural community. Because for those of you who know Kansas City, I say Kansas City because it's easy, and we did tend to go toward the city, not toward the countryside. But I went to school in a teeny little farm town, you know, fewer than 100 kids in my year, and everybody knows everybody, and lots of farming influence. So, you know, I know all about bucket calves and stuff like that. Also, oh my goodness, speaking of bucket calves that you raise by hand, that's what that is, because you're feeding them from a bucket. Get it? Okay. I am absolutely gobsmacked. Oh no, I can't do it. Look what's gonna happen. I gotta move this box. Okay. This has to go underneath BB-8. I'll work out where that can go. We're better. Don't worry, BB-8, you're fine. Bucket calves. The people on the internet who have, like, house cows. People who are raising their bucket calves inside their house. Yeah, we did not do that in Kansas. The kids spent a lot of time in the barn. Yes. Have I been to hang out in friends' barns with their bucket calves? Yes. I did not have a bucket calf. One time everybody thought I had a bucket calf. I just had a black and white dog. I had a pointer that was black and white, and all my friends were like, did you get a bucket calf? No, that's a dog. Have we met? I don't have cows. Anyway, I did have a lot of dogs. So yeah, people get surprised that they don't know what to think about the whole farming background. I've driven a combine harvester, which we just called combine in Kansas. In the UK, they're called combine harvesters always. But we just call it a combine. And I have driven one. But I didn't, not on my own field, just to learn how to do it. just to show I could do it. What else? Yeah. But I never owned, oh no, I owned one pair of cowgirl boots in my life, but they were so fake. They weren't like proper cowgirl boots. They were like fashion cowgirl boots. And I must have been about, how old must I have been? 9, 10? Oh, Georgia says if you talk to a proper farmer here, they'll call it a combine. Excellent. Thank you. I feel better about that. Because I heard the song when I first moved here and people were like, you're from a farm? I'll play you this song. And Americans, you should look up this song if you want to laugh. I got myself a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Yeah, it is funny, but it's like really hokey. And I think that's where most Brits know the phrase combine harvester from is because it's in the song. But it makes me feel better that farmers don't bother with the second word and just say combine. Okay, sorry, that took forever to get the loops out of this sticker, but I got it. And look at that, we can make that work there. How am I doing for time? We're good. How many times do I say that in a live? Do I say it a lot? We actually listened to a busker playing that song the other day. Just outside Charing Cross Station, casually singing combine songs in the middle of London. Why not? But yeah, so I had this one pair of cowgirl boots, only one pair in my life that were not proper cowgirl boots. They would have fallen apart if you had to wear them through clumping around in a field. And they were from, this is going to date me and locate me. How to tell you that I grew up in the 80s in the Midwest. They're from Venture. Who in my American crowd knows Venture? Goodness, I loved Venture. It had a bakery at the exit. It smelled so good, and I can still taste some of the cookies in my mind because they were such a core memory of my childhood. And Venture had, like, their logo, their branding was like diagonal black and white stripes. And they had the Gitano Eva Joya collection, which was my favorite fashion thing ever. I totally recommend, if you like 80s fashion, type Eva Joya into Pinterest, EVAJOIA, and it was this 80s fashion brand. I mean, it was bonkers. But it's so me that it cracks me up. And when I look back at it, because a lot of my favorite, like most precious items in my wardrobe as a child were from Eva Joya. And when I pulled it up on Pinterest a few years back, like literally it's still my vibe. If those clothes were made today, I would go out and wear them in my size. Oh my goodness. Like just totally random. I have this outfit that was like a white set of culottes and a t-shirt. Yes, I wore culottes. It was the 80s. With black and white stripes at the bottom and then tigers. Amazing. Tigers on them. So it kind of like Lisa Frank on clothes. But it wasn't Lisa Frank. It was, but a similar kind of vibe, like random, colorful, just joyous. My vibe then, it would be my vibe now. Also, last week I bought slouch socks and they're labeled as slouch socks and I found them in TK Maxx and I was like, this was the 90s fashion thing. I was waiting to come back and my feet have never been happier. They haven't been this happy since the 90s. I love slouch socks. My toes are so warm. It's great. Is this one going to have to come over here now? I think it is. Okay. Right. How can I make that fit? Well, we're going to put some gold over here. Nancy worked for Venture for 10 years in the 80s and 90s. Oh, I can't leave that tiny little green strip there. It's got to go there. Okay. I love that you worked at Venture. I just loved it so much. I used to go there with my grandma. Cool. We are really going into the vault of memories today. Nothing wrong with that. Right, I got butterflies. Maybe use some of the colorful stars this time. blue one there. And, oh, then I can do the same blue over here in the solid. Yeah? So I've got the gold glitter with the star and the gold glitter with the star. Yeah? Then... Who is it who just said they spent time in Olathe? You know you're from Kansas if you can pronounce Olathe, because it looks like Olaf or Olathe, but it's Olathe. Debbie, well, one of the Debbies. So Debbie Shelton said, my daughter and family lived in Olathe for a few years and loved it, and so did I. So I grew up south of Olathe. My first job, and the job I had all through high school off and on, was at the Dairy Queen on the 151st and Ridgeview. Yeah, that was my old stomping grounds. So I would come in from the countryside because I went to school in Spring Hill. So further out than that. Olathe was like the next place. Auntie Caffeine says, I grew up in SoCal and everyone thinks of SoCal as sophisticated movie stars and all that, but a third of the state is agriculture. That's right. There are loads of orange fields and strawberry fields and all of that sort of stuff in California. In one town, you'd be considered crazy for wearing a cowboy hat, but 2 towns over, you would be considered crazy not to have a cowboy hat. Totally. Carrie says, do you have a plan for the big heart? So I'm going to use all of this as one piece, which is how I planned for it to work. But you can just use the heart or the this speaks to my heart without that and put this heart on something else with something else in the middle. But I'm going to use, at least once I'll use it all together. Cool, cool, cool. By the way, not in October, but in November, I'm thinking about doing a week where I'll do a main character energy live stream like 5 days in a row. Like just a week of main character energy live streams. Interested to know what you might think about that. Good idea, bad idea. I only want edited videos on main character energy. You can, as long as you say it politely, you can tell me whatever you like. Okay, I want more color. How can I put more color into this? Here. Okay, these two. Scissors, right. Have I got more of that green in here? A little bit down here. Oh, how funny. This one repeats right next to each, quite close to each other. If you build it, we will come. Okay, so yes to the live streams. Okay. Because I have a whole bunch of things I want to show you, but I know, looking at the calendar and classes coming up and classes that, you know, Punches needs to go live and you want March and April updates for this year's story, of course, and all of things like that, that is totally logical. If I then say I need to do main character energy, but I do edited videos, it's just not going to happen. But live streams are, they're just far more feasible because there's not editing time. It doesn't mean that I have to talk about total random rubbish every day. I want something there, but not the Halloween things. I can be a little bit more on topic. I can prepare, but it's going to be in real time because if I do all edited, I just know we're going to be like Christmas before I get it all done. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to fall more behind just because I want to share more with you. So live streaming is the way to do that. Can I put a coffee cup on it? No. Okay, which means I'm going to put a Disney thing on it instead. If you like it, then you should have put a Disney thing on it. What do we got that I could just make work here? Something in this could work, I'm sure. Now, the interesting thing is that when you get Disney stuff, it's almost all Disneyland / Magic Kingdom. It's that park. It's the park with the castle. There's a pretzel here, but it's pretzel shaped. I'm guessing because if you make it Mickey shaped, you get sued. But I don't eat this pretzel at a park. I eat the Mickey shaped pretzel at a park. I don't eat the turkey leg. No. Yes, of course I have Disney shaped food stickers. Of course I do. So these are all the lands of Magic Kingdom / Disneyland. Main Street, Fantasy, Tomorrow, Adventure, Frontier. There's snacks here too. So these are totally the wrong colors. Oh, what about that one though? Could I just add a Mickey ice cream? Star Wars stamp set. Yeah, I'm going to use the Star Wars stamp set a lot on the Star Wars pages. So, yeah, let's do this. Is the black going to be too heavy? Yes. What could I find in here? Debbie, this is a really interesting one. Do kids in Great Britain learn about the American Revolution, and if so, what do they call it? The British-American War. Now, not everybody calls it that, but when I covered a history lesson one day, that's what it was in the textbook, and I remember breaking away from the lesson plan and going, I just have to tell you guys, this textbook calls it the British-American War, but I'm going to tell you as an American that we call it the Revolution. And they all just laughed that the textbook would diminish it like that. There's a cable car here, which is vaguely Hollywood Studios related. So we're going to do that and the snack puffy. Okay, so you could have something else here. It does not need to be Disney-fied, but to make it go with my photos, it needs to be Disney-fied. So I'm going to eat my Mickey-shaped ice cream in the cable car. Oh, yes, I am. So the date's going to go there, tiny bit of journaling there, and a whole bunch of gold mist. Also, some enamel dots. What is the name of the Simple Stories stamp set with the lands? Say Cheese at the Park, 4x6 stamps. It doesn't have another name than that. It's a 2022 product, so you might still be able to find it. It says Park Passport and Passport to Adventure up here, which does make me giggle because it's gone with passport here. But this is a postage franking concept, not a passport franking concept. But, you know. So this one's called Say Cheese at the Park. This one was from Say Cheese 4, and it's called Treats. So this one's older. This is 2019. I found them both together recently in a sale. Right. The Star Wars stamp set is from Ink Road. And it's the one that says, Droid, please. Use a Mickey punch in the colors that would match. Yes, that would also work here. Oh, there's appliances beeping at me. Well, an appliance. There is an appliance beeping at me. Hold on. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. Thank you for drying my clothes. Right. I'm just being polite to the appliances because, you know, you never know when the robots are going to take over. So I want to be on their good side. Okay, I want gold in this little section here, but I want it in that section and not everywhere else. How much gold mist do I have? Just a second, I will have a look. I'll show you from the side. Oh, can I see? Oh, okay. So I'm up to just the top here is where there's a gap. So I have a little less than half a bottle. Yep. And enamel dots. Oh, I can bring that aqua in. There we go. I think that's it. So date, tiny bit of journaling because it's a chapter page or chapter divider, and that is everything. Any questions left in the comments? Debbie says, yeah, she wanted to know the answer to what we call the revolution over here. That it's like teaching the Civil War in America. There's so much division about how to teach it and what angle to take. Yeah. The colonies are revolting. The interesting thing is, of course, that the king who was king at the time of the revolution, his story has not aged well. So he's not somebody that history teachers defend, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure that they also say, oh, the colonies did the right thing. But I've never heard a history teacher here defend taxation without representation and the fact that George was quite happy to take all the money and spend it on other stuff. Yes, Pam, I'm still live, but I've just finished, and now I'm going to sign off and go get WB from school. Right. Have a wonderful week. I will be all... Okay, I've just totally lost track of something in the comments, so I can't make it make sense. But okay, cool. So I'll be live again on Friday morning at 10 a.m. And I'll see you soon. Remember, next week, Monday live as normal, but the Friday one will be a live, not live. Yeah? Cool. Oh, Debbie points out we get to end on Jonathan Groff again by managing to bring it back to the king during the revolution. Oh, it's always a good day if we can work Jonathan Groff in. Yay! Right. Have a great week, everybody. If you enjoyed this video or you enjoyed the layout and you like it, you could give it a thumbs up. It's super duper helpful. So here's a heart for you. It does actually do things behind the scenes, so I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And you can find all that Christmas journal linking that we talked about over at Shimelle.com. Okay. Any questions, put them in the YouTube comments so that I can get you an answer about all that chit chat about the kit. Cool. See you soon. Bye-bye.